Hi, this is Michael. Thanks so much for all your support with Declassified over the last 3 years. Some exciting news. We have a sister podcast just launching called Breaking the Cycle. Now, we'll be documenting, speaking to organisations and individuals within the social, supported and charity housing sector. Here's a clip.
But what we were made to understand is that he went to one of the solitary wards where one of the patients were really unwell in isolation. And my dad was attacked by this patient. So what we didn't know at the time was that he was lying in that ward until the morning shift came. So when I saw him coming out of the ambulance, this was as a result of him having been attacked at some point in the night, hit very hard in the head with a chair and other objects that this patient had. And my father went into the hospital. I remember my mom just being squirreled away by somebody who wanted to find out details about my dad. I was sent with someone to go home, and the details, it was a very traumatic occasion because I thought I saw, my dad was wrapped up. I couldn't tell if he was alive or if he was dead. Nobody was saying anything. It was like shushing the kids away, shush me away. Somebody took me home and I didn't see my dad for 18 days because he was hospitalized. When he was discharged, he was a vegetable basically and confined to bed.
So you had your dad, the accident happened, and then for all intent and purposes, your dad had gone.
Yes. My dad came home and he was, living, if you picture where we're living in this shack, zinc roof, water leaking through there, not a very nice place. And then you have somebody who's disabled now, who is confined to bed. You have to find, so we used to get the fibers from the coconut and we used to put them together in sacks that were stitched up to make mattresses. So we had to get one of those, mount them on 4 pieces of wood with kind of like a trestle. And that's where my dad was, that was his bed in one of the rooms that I shared with my mom and my 2 brothers. My other brother was in another room. But when my dad came there, it was like he could look at you and he could mumble, but he'd suffered a stroke whilst he was in hospital. So he couldn't really speak. So you couldn't tell what he wanted. So he was doubly incontinent, unable to say what his needs were. So you almost had to read what he needed. And I was from that age, I became a carer, a full-time carer for my father because my 2 disabled brothers weren't able to do anything. My other brother had to go out to start fending because my dad was the main breadwinner. So he was, my 4th brother was going out to fend for food and so on. So I was
the one just older than you?
The one just older than me, yeah.
And you were 6 at this time?
Yes.
You can find Breaking the Cycle on all major podcast platforms. Please subscribe, listen and review. We appreciate all your support. Thanks so much.